Cheryl, would you roll call the commissioners, please?
Greg Davison.
Present.
Steve Foster.
Present.
Garner Peck.
Present.
Jonathan Meyer.
Present, and Joe Vincent previously resigned from the board. With that, we'll move on to audience comments, and we'll open it up for audience comments, which is time for the public period. I'll do the individuals. Real quick, just a note that at this meeting, members of the public are expected to conduct themselves in an orderly fashion. Specifically, disruptions of the meeting and interruptions of individuals' public comments will not be tolerated. Members of the public found disruptive will be escorted from the meeting. Thank you. Okay, so the public comment period is 3 minutes per person, up to a maximum of 30 minutes. The first one is Brad. Oh, okay. Brad declines. With that, we'll go on to Doug Young.
Basically, I've got three things in these packets. On the left-hand side is the soil test, and also a PowerPoint that you can look through as you so choose. If you want me to, we can talk about this soil test just a little bit. If you want to let that go. On the other side is the accounting of the conservation project. All the invoices are attached. The reimbursement from the Soil and Water Conservation District is included, and the balance is at the bottom.
Okay, great. We'll get this. Thank you.
And then the last thing was you had inquired about potentially increasing some of the road crop. That really would fall under Rob's discretion as far as setbacks. I just put a few in there, and the potential income that is possible from that.
Okay. That's great. I will review this. We will all review this, sir.
And if you want more information on this at some point,
Yeah, maybe call upon you a little later, either in this meeting or at a future meeting.
that's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Are there any public comments at this time? Back, sir.
My name is Bill Ingram. I would like to make a couple of comments. We have a situation that has developed, and I have been at this airport almost as long as Mr. Foster, and I have basically seen the board, different boards, all of it. You may not be able to tell it. I am real old and I've been around a long time. I need to say that from that perspective, I have seen the boards, the makeup of the boards, the problems of the board, and if you're on a board, you always have problems. In my opinion, we have had the best board. I don't want this to go to the guys' heads, but we have had the best board that got more done, more accomplished on our goals than I have ever seen. I have seen the squabbles between Bill Britt and McCollum. That really dates myself.
I remember that.
Yeah, but the board is pretty much a thankless job, and the pay is real poor. But the board, the people that serve on the board, it's almost thankless because you never make the good, proper decision in everybody's eyes. The board, for those people who have run businesses, been responsible institutions, the board is charged with making the direction of whatever the entity is. In this case, the airport. And in that role, they have to make decisions who to hire and who to fire. And they have a direction on this, and they have requirements. Any of you that are in a business, how much, am I running out of time?
Yes, sir, you got 18 seconds.
Okay. We have a fine board, and I have never seen better, and they make good decisions, and the airport is the better port. I have a lot more, but I guess my time is out.
Gentleman's time is expired. Any other public comments at this time? Yes, sir.
My name is Larry Black. I left Danville in 1988, 89. I was taking my lessons down here, written a plane from Foster, a 76 172 73, either Delta Echo or Sarah Romeo. I bought it in 78, so it had the same first three numbers. I would drive from Chicago back down here to take my lessons from Andrews, who is now the chief pilot for Walmart. I deliberately bought a house to return here after being on the road for 20 years. I've worked in 10 states, 30 different plants in old Mexico for the same company. I've met a lot of people. I was invited to the board meetings in Chicago. There were some board members there I really have a lot of respect for. And I bought a house 2 years before I retired and came back. Closest one-lot brick house I could get to the airport. Be surrounded by hydrants. They formed me, I think, around me, back of me, across the street. And I'm beginning to wonder if I made a hell of a mistake. Other than that, this is a great airport. Don't screw it up, people.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments? Sir?
I'm Jeff Williams. My perspective on all this is admittedly somewhat limited. I mean, I don't know, I haven't been around here a long time. I've been here a few years. All I really do is fly my plane in and out of here, and I mean, I like my hangar, and like the services that we have here. I guess I would just say, without knowing all of the background of everything that has happened, from my perspective, over the last 5 years, we've lost two good managers. Mike Potter was doing a good job, and he was pushed out. Alex Gale was doing a good job, he was pushed out. And I don't know what's coming next. Rod has responded to a couple of requests that I had, things that were wrong in my hangar, so I appreciate that. I just wish we could get a good manager here and keep the manager here, and I'm tired of this.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comments at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to the adoption or amendment of the agenda. I just asked for one small change to the agenda. The October 11th minutes, Cheryl's got them all worked up, but we haven't had a chance to review them, so I would just like to move those to next meeting, since we just didn't have a chance, and part of this, we have to review it too. So, with that, I'd just like to strike approval of the special meeting minutes from October 11th from the agenda. I see no other issues. Okay.
I'll second that.
I can't move it, but you can go there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move that be approved with your amendment.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, motion to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go on to the approval of the meeting minutes from the September 20th regular meeting.
I'll move for the approval.
Okay. A motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from the September 20th regular meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, with that, we have the meeting minutes from the special meeting on September the 26th.
I move to approve the meeting minutes September 26th.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the September 26th special meeting minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We also have the special meeting minutes from the September 30th meeting included.
I move for that approval.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the September 30th special meeting minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. With that, we'll go on to the treasurer's report. We'll take the Septembers and then we'll do the Octobers. So we have the September monthly financial items and payables. I think, Cheryl, Jill reviewed these, the Septembers. Did you get the Octobers? Do you remember?
He reviewed them, but he didn't ask any questions.
Okay. All right. I know Joe sent me a note when he was still a commissioner saying the September ones he had reviewed looked fine. And I know he had looked at the October but had not gone through detail. So let's take the September 1st financials and payables.
I make a motion to accept the September monthly financial.
And you want to approve it?
Approve it, yes.
Okay. So we got a motion to approve the September monthly financial items and payables.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion on that? We'll do just September. Cheryl, will you roll call the trustees, please?
Craig Davidson,
Yes.
Steve Foster.
Yes.
Gardner Peck,
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes. Motion carries. That will go on to the October monthly financial items and payables.
On the Advantage Chevrolet,
Yes.
that includes the equipment and the cost of the car?
That's just the cost of the truck.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the equipment is getting put on and will be,
that's my question.
Yeah.
It's special equipment.
it is.
In order
And I think Rod will talk about that in his manager's report about what equipment's being
for
put on.
safety.
This will be two separate expenses, the truck and then the equipment.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we spec the truck out, and that's what we ordered, and then we'll put the proper airport equipment on that when it's here in-house.
I don't have any other questions on it. I move for approval.
All right. Do you have a second on that?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the October monthly financial items and payables. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Cheryl, would you roll call the commissioners, please?
Craig Davidson,
Yes.
Steve Foster.
Yes.
Gardner Peck,
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, with that, we will move on to agenda item 8 to open the skid steer bids. Looks like we have two. One from Alto for Cat. Okay, it's for one new Cat 279 Delta 3 XPS compact track loader, plus a 60-month, 2,000 hour powertrain hydraulic warranty. The price on that is $84,074. And around to you
Did
all.
that include the, any additional warranty?
Yes, sir, that's got the 5-year warranty on it.
It's 5 years on it.
Yes, sir,
Is that the one that didn't have it the first time?
that's correct. That's what got re-spec'd and rebid. We also have a bid, what seems like an endless cascade of envelopes from AHW. Okay, this is for a John Deere 325G compact track loader with an extended warranty for 60 months and 2,000 hours. I can add that. And that total is for $68,248 from AHW in Hookston. I will send that around. That also looks like it has the snow pusher blade as spec'd. As we consider those, Rod, I think you had talked to your staff and they had some thoughts on the necessity of the skid steer now.
We did.
What was their general feeling on it?
I think the staff, and I'll support the staff in their conclusion, believes that it's nice but not necessary. It's an expensive investment. Skid loaders are wonderful and fabulous tools, by the way. They're outstanding as those people who know them and have them. The primary purpose of it was to help move snow in a fine way around hangars, apparently. So we have the equipment to do that today in the two Ford pickup trucks, and the new Chevy truck that's here is going to be equipped with a snowplow to do the same thing. We also have the small bucket on the small John Deere tractor for the same work. So honestly, it doesn't add a lot of value in terms of an investment to the equipment that we have as an asset. Not really needed. We do everything with the equipment we have, just about that we can do with that. It's truly a nice to have, not a necessity. It's the view of the staff.
So it'd be up to the board's pleasure. We can reject all bids and decline.
Well, the one we specifically requested that brand, so there's a John Deere here, so that wouldn't really meet our qualifications, if we wanted to go ahead. So, but I think the manager's advice is good, that we got from the employees, they know, and particularly since we got the new truck and the equipment's available, it's just a fraction. It would cost us $80-some-thousand. It's not necessary right now. It may have been then because we had a very old equipment, but the trucks come in and we've already priced it out, so you can say more about it if you want.
The only thing I would add to it that might, that we've probably not talked a lot about is I think that the members of our airport community here would rather have the roofs not leaking and the hangar doors working and some of those kind of things. And that kind of money, or some new projects such as a children's playground. I know it was on the project list at one time in the past. Those are opportunity areas. And there's going to be an opportunity to put that money to use, depending on the decision the board takes tonight about a connector to Taxiway Alpha Phase 1. So that, my personal view of the matter, after talking with the staff, because they live it every day, is that that money can be better spent on something that will create a little more value for the airport.
Well, I'd like to move, just go ahead and reject both bids of the John Deere and the Caterpillar skid steer.
Yeah, second.
A motion is second to reject all bids. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on. Next is item number 9, the 2022 tax levy ordinance. So this is, just so everyone is up to speed, I'll try to do some comparison and contrasting on this. So this is for tax year 2022, and the way this works is we levy against our expenses in 2022, and we levy against the budget appropriations that we had. So we've been informed that we can raise our levy up to near 5%, which would put us at $553,750 is the proposed levy. Just for some background, in 2017, our tax rate was 0.10927. 2022, I believe it looks like it's going to be 0.08. So that's about a 26% reduction. So that's reducing, that has reduced the taxes for those who are paying taxes because we've included the extra property through the illegal disconnections that had occurred since 1946. Reconnecting those lowered the taxes of those paying taxes, but did put some new tax people on the rolls within the county, within the townships that serve the airport. The tax amount, so looking back 5 years, 2017, our tax amount was $514,719. If we raise now to $553,750, that will be a 5-year total increase of 7% or 1.52% annual increase, which I think is pretty modest compared to inflation, in my opinion. Specifically on the levy, we are levying $0 for salaries and benefits. We are levying $0 for accounting, legal, office equipment maintenance, postage, printing, special events. We're levying $20,000 for vehicle and equipment maintenance. We're levying $79,000 for airside maintenance, everything on that side of the fence that we're fixing. We're levying $0 for landside maintenance. We're levying $50,055 for hangar building maintenance. We are levying no money for fuels, tools, janitor supplies, uniforms, telephone, electric and heating, garbage disposal, water, sewage service, membership dues, travel, conferences, required bids, or advertising. We are levying $269,000 for equipment and operations expense. We are not levying for farm improvements or real estate. The total operating levy will be $418,055. In addition to that, we've appropriated and will levy $24,000 to the employees' IMRF. We will have appropriated $13,000 and will levy $13,000 to the employees' FICA. And we have appropriated and will levy $18,000 for CPA services. We will also, sorry, I skipped that. We will also levy and have appropriated for unemployment compensation insurance, health insurance, vehicle property insurance, and workers' compensation insurance. That's $500 unemployment comp, $23,000 health insurance, $46,195 vehicle property, and $11,000 workers' comp. Total levy is $553,750. So what I'll need is a motion to approve the tax levy ordinance for fiscal year 2022.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the tax levy ordinance for Vermilion Regional Airport for the tax year 2022. Any further discussion? With that, Cheryl, would you roll call the trustees, please?
Craig Davison,
Yes.
Steve Foster.
Yes.
Gardner Peck,
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes. Okay. All right, we will move on to approving the Crowder CPA to perform the 2022 audit. So we, I think, failed to do this last time. I would just like to give my full-voiced approval and appreciation of the job that Crowder's does. I think we should retain them to perform our 2022 audit. I brought their audit book, you know, that, I don't know if you've seen that or not, or they do an excellent job. We have a very challenging audit some years because of the state funds that we get in federal funds to do the projects, and the way that they're bid and split over multiple years is really a nightmare for everybody involved. And they do excellent work. So I would ask that somebody make a motion to approve Crowder CPA to perform the 2022 audit.
I'll make the motion to approve Crowder CPA to perform the audit for 2022.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve Crowder CPA to perform the 2022 audit. Any further discussion? Chair, would you roll call the commissioners, please?
Craig Davison.
Yes.
Steve Foster.
Yes.
Gardner Peck,
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes. Okay, with that, we'll move on to 11, to approve the farm lease bid specification. So Dr. Feasting, when he was on the board, did some work on this lease. I sent that off to the staff here. A couple of the things that we have changed in the leases, we've got some better language with the soil testing, just so that we make sure that we're doing our due diligence. We've also put in a provision, which you can see is, they're highlighted in gray, that we will not be bidding for anybody that's going to do double cropping. So one crop per year per lease is what we're looking at. And basically what we'll do is if this is approved, we'll send this out to the local farmers to bid for a December opening, and then we will award the lease contract at that time.
Make a motion to accept the new farm lease for next year. Right, 2023 or be?
So yeah, I think it's a 3-year
Yeah.
lease. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a motion to approve the farm lease bid specification for 3 years beginning February 1st, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, I would, just one question.
Yes.
Is it alerted specifically, or is the exact dimensions that you're going to have tillable land? Because we had to cut some of it back.
We haven't, yeah. So I haven't talked to Doug about it yet.
That's what I mean, if they know about it.
Not yet, because we haven't measured exactly, but it
Yeah.
looks like it's only in one little area, and it's 14 rows, but it's not very long rows, so it's in a little bit of a corner. It's in what's called the runway safety area, so I can't have standing crop in the runway safety area. It's not a lot.
Even weeds, the RSA is really specific, because they can get in the way of an aircraft landing in a big wind, you can drift off. It's like so many people in the center line, and we found a couple places you've already had.
Yeah,
I was gonna go look for them, but didn't have to do it.
yeah, in fact, we had some hay, we had some reduction in the hay area because of it, because it was hayed out into the runway safety area for runway 321. But it's not a lot, but it's more hay than it was corn.
Just as long as they know these are the parameters.
Yeah, so when I get the measurements, I can tell them exactly what it is, because I gotta survey it, and I gotta stake it. I've got a cone, if you wonder what that cone is sticking up out there in the middle of that corner, that's the east edge of the line for the cornrows.
So I've got a motion and a second on the floor. Still, we have further discussion on this?
So that would change this number to 330 tillable acres, is that what I'm understanding?
But it's by a very small amount.
Yeah, very small.
I haven't measured it yet, Gardner, but it's 14 rows wide, maybe 60, 50 yards long, if that.
I think as long as we make all bidders aware that that's a possibility,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Yeah, because we haven't completed the plan yet, so we're not sure about the measurements.
Yeah, I just feel like we've got to get this farm lease out to bid for the farmer's sake, because they've got input costs to manage.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Any further discussion? Go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of approving the farm bid specs, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we approve the hay agreement, which is also included in your packet.
And see, we've got some bales being picked up out there right now, so I'm glad to see they're not gonna be left all winter.
Yeah, it was not, I think the tenant did a good job of getting it out. My only comment was, we got to maybe watch them getting that out of the runway area, just even a little further out, just from the side clearance zones. That'd be my only comment, that was, later in the fall.
It was clear, right?
I thought they
They're
did.
clear of the runway safety area?
And
So
actually,
if we-
they're all gone now.
They are now, yeah.
Yeah, but after he bailed him, he actually moved him, we had to move him out of the runway safety area.
Okay,
So he went outside the line of RSA for both runways.
okay.
So Craig and I talked about it on Sunday a little bit, but it was, so that was the primary concern. He moved him right away. We marked it for him before he bailed it. So he bailed it, which is great because we got to get the hay out of there anyway, got to get it out. So he cut it, raked it and bailed it, and then he picked his bales up that day and moved them over outside the RSA.
Fantastic, that's
Which was
great.
what I asked him to do, and he did great with it, so.
Excellent.
See, we didn't have it filed on time, the RSA now, they generously gave us an extension around the middle of December,
correct?
But I think it's important that the farmers all know that they can't even leave a vehicle parked there on RSA because it could be quite dangerous hazard
Yep.
for an aircraft and especially a crossbreed.
I think the right way to do it would be, we finish our audit, we finish our inventory of the RSA, and then we'll have an education session for anybody that's interested in one of our board meetings, for everybody to know what the RSA is and what it looks like. It'd be very important for everybody to know the dimension of it. So,
Especially anybody that's going out on the field anywhere for anything.
right, and I'll have a map drawn of that RSA so everybody can see it, and might need a good aerial view to help everybody pick their landmarks.
I'm just glad that somebody that's doing the right thing, moving the bales out, getting it done in a good amount of time. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I would have to say he's done a great job. He's
Yes.
communicating very well. He waits for us. We escort him out, we escort him back. He follows the route. He's been great.
That's excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement for hay baling.
Yeah. I'll make the motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a motion to second to approve the agreement for hay baling. Any discussion on that? Cheryl, would you roll call the commissioners on that, please?
Craig Davidson.
Yes.
Steve Foster.
Yes.
Gardner Peck.
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. That will move on to amending, renewing the Glider Club lease. It has just expired. Also in your packets. I believe we're giving them, it's half of the bird hanger, if I'm not mistaken, $300 a month. And this basically, there's no changes to this contract, I don't believe, right?
I don't believe so. The only thing I know there was a bit of discrepancy about is they have on the north end of the flight line, they have an office in there, and as far as them maintaining it in a clean manner and whatnot.
Okay.
And so there was some issues there. So,
That is not being charged right now on this lease for
Okay.
that part.
That's an included to throw in. Okay.
Are they still occupying the office over here in Joe
As far as I know.
Yeah, but you understand if we get a tenant or something in there? Is there anything in here about that?
Ask the question again. Steve.
Well, we got the office just to use, but do you understand that in the agreement that if we got a tenant, someone who wants to come in and open up an FBO type or service like flight training, that they need to vacate it?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
I believe that he does understand that, and is it included in the language of the lease?
It's in the lease, it's exclusive use, so we'd have
Yeah, I saw
to,
that.
yeah, we would have to perhaps move that to, out or to non-exclusive use.
Yeah, you really ought to move that down to non-exclusive if you're gonna terminate, subject to termination on some advanced days notice.
Okay. Why don't we do that? Why don't we move Cloud 9 Terminal Building private office space down to non-exclusive and with written notice to terminate after, 30 days? Okay.
Did I make that motion already?
You have not? I don't believe.
And the amount on page 2 is not correct either.
It's not 300?
It is not.
Okay, what is
It
it?
is 420.
420?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, thank you for catching that. And I understand, Rod, you talked to them and they've got enough, or somebody talked to them, they had enough money to get through a few more years?
2 to 3
2 to 3?
was the number.
Okay.
They're struggling.
Why don't we potentially approve this today and then maybe we can work with them over the next year as a board and pilots on the field and maybe see if we can't, help them out. I think, we wanted the Glider Club to come here. I think they're always better now about not getting in the way of aerial application folks. But see if we can't get them up and going a little better. So why don't we amend that rental and fees, we'll put that at 420 instead of 300.
And I move to approve that as amended today,
Okay.
and we'll leave it open with them in the future,
All right.
as far as,
I second that.
We have a motion to second to approve the amended glider club lease specifically to make Cloud9 Terminal Building private office space non-exclusive with 30 days written notice and the monthly rental fee of $420. Any further discussion on that? Cheryl, would you roll call the commissioners, please?
Craig Davidson,
Yes.
Steve Foster.
yes.
Garner Peck,
Yes.
Jonathan Myers.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. With that, we'll move on to banking, to signers. So a few years ago, we instituted a policy that we were going to have 2 signers per check, just for the sake of accountability and to make sure that it protects those writing the checks and it protects us as a institution. We need to have probably 2 more signers, since I think Cheryl now is the only signer. Am I right on that? You're it. All right. And I don't blame her. She don't want to be the only signer on all these checks. I think that's not
You
fair.
always have the treasurer, are you gonna take that over? Oh, you're the only one here to read a balance sheet.
I don't think that's true, but,
So, Kurt, if you'd be willing to be one of the signers, and I mean, Craig, you're out here about every day. Would you be willing to be one of the signers? Okay.
I'm willing to be a signer.
Okay. If we had the 2 of you as signers, then I think we've got a pool of 3. And
You have to be willing to give driver's license and social security number and, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
DNA.
blood, tissue, and urine sample.
And give a sample of your,
You're right. So, would somebody make a motion to approve, maybe Steve, if you would,
I'm the only one left.
yeah, and I'll second it.
I'll make a motion to approve these 2 guys who want to come out here and sign the checks all the time.
Okay, I have a motion to approve Gardner Peck and Craig Davidson as commissioners to be signers on the airport banking accounts. I'll step out of the chair, I will second that motion, I will step back in the chair. Is there any further discussion on that?
So then we'd have 3.
You'd have 3.
Okay,
That way if somebody's on vacation or whatever, we can still get them.
okay.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right. We'll go to item 15 to approve the 2023 board meeting dates. Right now, we have them as January 17th, March 21st, May 16th, July 18th, September 19th. I'm skipping a whole bunch of them. January 17th, February 21st, March 21st, April 18th, May 16th, June 20th, July 18th, August 15th, November 19th, October 17th, November 21st, and December 19th. Anybody have any issues with those?
Is there any reason why we should consider changing the time?
I'm open. You guys moved this time to accommodate me because I was teaching a ground school,
And you're not anymore.
volunteer ground school class. Well, I mean, I teach it every other year, but I mean, we can move it.
Every other year, we can change.
Okay. Trying to get young pilots involved, but does this time, does this work okay for everybody?
Works fine for
Or
me.
is there a better time?
It works okay for me, but I was just wondering if this was a little inconvenient for you, since you're running a big business out there.
I mean, it's okay.
It's all equally bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm usually at the office until 5:30 or so. It's not a huge deal once a month to be out here. I just need to be on time, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Okay, so I think we can probably approve these and then get them out to the press then. Do a motion to approve the 2023 meeting dates?
I move to approve the proposed meeting dates.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the 2023 board meeting dates. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. With that, we'll go on to the vehicle operation and safety security plans. And Rod, I think you had a presentation on this.
I do, but I want to request moving that to the manager's report. We'll keep it all together. If you don't mind, can we push that down in the manager's report?
Without objection?
No.
Okay. We will move it to the manager's report.
Okay, it's item D in that.
All right, with that, we'll move on to item number 17, which is beginning the search for the airport manager. Did you put that in here?
don't have it with me. My actions are to update the job description for that role, and keep it current, just like we finished the maintenance supervisor role. We just updated that job description, and that one's been distributed and commented on. So
I will,
that's my next move.
okay, well, let me get I will then go forward with kind of what the description is for the posting. We're looking at a title of airport manager, an approximate start date of January the 1st. Applications, resumes, letters of recommendation due December 11th at 23:59. Requirements posted as a bachelor's degree, 3 or more years as an airport manager, comparable management experience. Ability to perform duties contained in the VRAA airport manager job description, knowledge of federal, state aviation regulations is a plus. Salary range will be based upon qualifications and experience. We're conducting a average salary survey right now to determine that. We'll post it as based on qualifications and experience. And to apply, please send a resume containing 3 professional references and cover letter to the Vermilion Regional Airport Authority to the manager at vrairport.com. And then we will attach the airport manager job description.
Give one of those to Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it's going.
Yeah, well, he gave it to me to hand out, and I didn't apologize.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I think what I need is a motion to formally open the position with those parameters. Obviously, the timeline is subject to change, but that's what our initial timeline looks like so far.
I make the motion to begin the search for the airport manager along those timelines.
Okay.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to open the manager and post the job for the Vermilion Regional Airport Manager position. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll go on to the legal counsel update. Jerry.
The past month, most of the work that I have performed has been of a secure nature, and not really a reportable condition. I did have a conversation with Rod this last couple of weeks. He had a person interested in buying the plane that we have stored that we've been looking at for sale. I advised that it would have to be, still have to be a post-bid situation. It could be an auction, which is what we've been talking about. But if you want to post it for bids, a person that's interested would still have to comply with a bid posting. This week I have tentatively an opportunity to talk to the judge that's in charge of this program. It's now changed. The judge that was in charge of it before dragged their feet and wouldn't let us move forward is now no longer involved in the process. And I expect this week to be able to call Rod and tell him any parameters that we have with regard to moving forward. And I'm open to whether or not you want an auction or whether or not you want to solicit bids. It's totally up to you. What we are required to do is to provide a bill of sale. We are not involved in registering the aircraft or making any warranty. It would be an as-is situation. And all the documentation with regard to bids for auction sale would contain those conditions. And I'll work with Rod or whoever he wants in order to put that notice together and the requirements together. So you have any idea which way you want to go?
I'll go with, really, it's up to the board. I think what you said something really important there, and that's all you want to be responsible for is a valid bill of sale, and let whoever the award winner of the bid is that actually purchased the airplane be responsible for all the FAA registration and everything else.
That's correct.
I think the only obligation that we would have would be probably, if we know we're that close to a resolution, let's get it out of the weather so it doesn't get damaged in the meantime and preserve the value that it has. It's actually in reasonably good condition for the age of the airplane. So it's a saleable airplane. But what makes it very difficult is there are no logbooks, and it has been officially deregistered by the FAA. And I will tell you, whoever acquires that airplane is going to have an 18 to 24-month period to get that airplane re-registered. Yep. The wait list right now in Oklahoma City in the registration branch is 12 to 13 months before they even review the paperwork.
We've gone through a substantial amount of investigation with the heirs of the prior owner who's deceased, trying to get logbooks, trying to get information. We've run into a brick wall and we're not able to do it. So we're proceeding through the probate court to authorize the sale, and that's the only way that we're able to do that.
There is a question that, if you're gonna have a public auction in Illinois, I think it requires a licensed auctioneer, and you're entitled to and would expect a commission on it. So if we put it out for bids, the only thing is you're gonna save having to, whatever the bid is, that's a gross instead of a net. And those commissions can be 5% or more, or at least usually 5 to 10. I know I flew up to McCollum, had a plane after he died up in Detroit. I flew up there with one of the auctioneers in town just to auction that plane off. You know, and they were pretty sticky about it.
I think if it's, why don't we, let's see if we can get a timeline as to when we're gonna need to do that, and we can confer as far as what's the best. I've seen the bids go low, because you're not getting the word out as much, you're not getting that competitive process. We could also always do a buyer's premium on the auction as well.
You can set the premium, you can set the floor, you can set terms of the sale,
Okay.
cash down, blah, blah.
So we'll pick that up at
I'll relay to Rod then, and you can pick it up and move, hopefully at the next meeting, then how you're gonna move.
that'd be great. Okay. That'll give us some time.
So what, in situations like this, what percent goes to a sealed bid versus an auction? Do we have any idea?
I don't know if we're planning.
I don't know. I see a lot of auctions.
Yeah, well, so most airplanes are actually sold through a broker arrangement, right? So even though you have an auction in mind, you have a sealed bid in mind, which is a very governmental way to dispose of assets. In the general aviation industry, you can do that through a broker as well. You can set your minimum, so to speak. But a broker is very different than a bid in an auction altogether. I wouldn't recommend spending the money on a broker for this airplane. This airplane has a very low value. But the thing that I would really like to do, and I have 2 goals for it. One is to preserve it so we don't have something happen to it right at the time we're about ready to dispose of it. So whoever ends up buying it will have it is in the state it's in, not damaged in any other way. And secondly, I want to get it off that ramp and get it out of the way for our snow season, right? So we don't want the opportunity for a snow truck to run into it.
You got a place to put it?
We have a couple of places to put it. There's a tenant here. There could be a very beneficial relationship with a tenant here who is in between airplanes. I can't remember his name. Chris.
Dockstader.
Oh, yeah.
So Chris is paying double. We're charging him double rent because it's in storage now because he doesn't have an airplane in there, right? He's in between airplanes. We might want to put it in his hangar and use that hangar and let him pay his standard rent because there's now an airplane in there. So we'd have a benefit to it, he'd have a benefit to it, and we won't lose him as a renter right now while he's in between airplanes because I think we're about to lose him, probably.
Yeah, I like Chris.
So I don't know if he's amenable to that, but I would think he might be.
Okay.
So those are 2, it's just, we need a little better solution for that whole thing. And then bid or auction, people are gonna be, that is not a desirable airframe in that condition, right? Been sitting for a long, long time. There is no logbook with that airplane, and it is deregistered. And believe it or not, the biggest hit on it is the deregistration. It's a nightmare of a process. I've been through it. So it's a challenging process. But the airplane's got value. The airplane's not a bad airplane. And the right kind of, there's always a buyer for that kind of an airplane. There'll be somebody out there that'll buy that airplane.
I just have one more question I could. Normally if someone's going to come in to look at a plane to bid on it, whether it's an auction or a sealed bid, I don't think the winter time's a good time to sell a plane. Most planes have to sit around for a while, but spring or something, so I don't know. Is there any timeline, Gary? I mean, do we have to sell it right away?
I said, let's sell it as soon as we can. I don't care what the season is.
The time will give them time to work on it, whatever it is, they're gonna need to work on it.
The likely, if I may, the likely buyer for that kind of an airplane is these guys that restore Musketeers. And there's one guy in New England that is the #1 restorer of Musketeers. And he'll take them in just about any condition. So it's going to go to him or it's going to go to a salvage yard. And both of those options are always less financially interesting to us as a seller than it would be to sell it to a private individual. A private individual might have another need for it, which is to restore and fly it. You can buy that airplane cheaply. The airplane's airworthy, it's not a bad airplane, so.
It's gonna take 2
Sell
years
it
to
as
get
soon
a
as you
registration.
can.
Yes, if you got a 2-year registration wait, it doesn't matter what time of year it is.
It doesn't, sell it as soon as you can, with my advice.
All right, well, that sounds good. Jerry, do you have anything else for us?